I'm Ron Strickland. This webcast is one of a series in which I'm providing some brief lectures and commentaries on topics from the courses I teach in literature and cultural studies. This particular installment is one of a group on John Milton's epic poem, Paradise Lost. In other webcasts, I've talked about Milton's family background, his education, and his involvement in the English Revolution, and I've discussed Book 1 of the poem. In this webcast, I'll be focusing on Book 2 of Paradise Lost. It's on the Grand Council of Demons in Hell in Pandemonium, the parliamentary hall constructed by the demons at Satan's direction in order to stage a debate about the best response, the best way forward, after having been defeated by the Almighty in the war in heaven and having been hurled headlong, flaming down to hell. The debate has the appearance of a democratic process, but as we will see, democratic debate can be manipulated by skillful rhetoricians. And Satan stage manages the process so that there will be an outcome determined in advance by himself. The debate opens with Moloch, a demon who proclaims himself impatient with diplomacy and rhetoric and eager to rejoin the battle, whatever might be the outcome. I'll read a few lines. "My sentence is for open war," he says. "Of wiles more unexpert I boast not. Them let those contrive who need, or when they need, not now. For while they sit contriving, shall the rest, millions that stand in arms and longing wait the signal to ascend, sit lingering here, heaven's fugitives, and for their dwelling place accept this dark, opprobrious den of shame, the prison of his tyranny, who reigns by our delay? No, let us rather choose armed with hell flames and fury all at once, o'er heaven's high towers to force resistless way, turning our tortures into horrid arms against the torturer. When, to meet the noise of his almighty engine, he shall hear infernal thunder, and for lightning see black fire and horror shot with equal rage among his angels, and his throne itself mixed with Tartarian sulphur and strange fire, his own invented torments. But perhaps the way seems difficult and steep to scale with upright wing against a higher foe. Let such bethink them if the sleepy drench of that forgetful lake benumb not still, that in our proper motion we ascend up to our native seat. Descent and fall to us is adverse. Who but felt of late when the fierce foe hung on our broken rear, insulting, and pursued us through the deep, with what compulsion and laborious flight we sunk thus low? The ascent is easy then, the event is feared. Should we again provoke our stronger, some worse way his wrath may find to our destruction. If there be in hell fear to be worse destroyed, what can be worse than to dwell here, driven out from bliss, condemned in this abhorred deep to utter woe, where pain of unextinguishable fire must exercise us without hope of end, the vassals of his anger, when the scourge inexorably and the torturing hour calls us to penance. More destroyed than thus, we should be quite abolished and expire." After Moloch finishes, a demon called Belial rises to speak. Belial is a diplomat and, in fact, a coward. He counsels caution and patience, hoping that the rage of the Almighty will abate with time passing. He begins, "I should be much for open war, O peers, as not behind in hate, if what was urged, main reason to persuade immediate war, did not dissuade me most, and seemed to cast ominous conjecture on the whole success. Or could we break our way by force, and at our heels all hell should rise with blackest insurrection, confound heaven's purest light, yet our great enemy, all incorruptible, would on his throne sit unpolluted, and the ethereal mold, incapable of stain, would soon expel her mischief, purge off the baser fire victorious. Thus, repulsed, our final hope is flat despair. We must exasperate the almighty victor to spend all his rage, and that must end us. That must be our cure, to be no more. Sad cure, for who would lose, though full of pain, this intellectual being, those thoughts that wander through eternity, to perish rather, swallowed up and lost in the wide womb of uncreated night, devoid of sense and motion? And who knows, let this be good, whether our angry foe can give it, or will ever. How he can is doubtful, that he never will, is sure. Will he, so wise, let loose at once his ire, belike through impotence or unaware, to give his enemies their wish, and end them in his anger, whom his anger saves to punish endless? Wherefore cease we then? Our supreme foe in time may much remit his anger, and perhaps thus far removed not mind us, not offending, satisfied with what is punished. Whence these raging fires will slacken, if his breast stir not their flames. Our purer essence then will overcome their noxious vapor, or inured not feel or changed at length, and to the place confound in temper and in nature will receive familiar the fierce heat, and void of pain. This horror will grow mild, this darkness light. Besides, what hope the never-ending flight of future days may bring? What chance, what change worth waiting? Since our present lot appears for happy though but ill, for ill not worst, if we procure not ourselves more woe. Moloch argues for open war. Let's get it over with. Belial argues for diplomacy. Maybe we can find some way to compromise. Mammon argues for building riches in hell. And Mammon's argument is rather persuasive to the demons assembled there. Then Beelzebub offers the proposal that Satan has prompted him to offer. There's a new creation we've heard of. Let's subvert God's new creation, humankind. Maybe we can so annoy him that he will destroy his own creation. That would be good revenge. Maybe we can drive them into hell and occupy Eden ourselves. That would be good. Maybe we could persuade them to be of our party and turn God's creation against him. Turn them to our side. Now that would be the best revenge. And that, as we know, is what will happen. As these angels have fallen, so humans will be tempted and will fall from God's grace. Here, it's important to notice that Satan has arranged for Beelzebub to make his proposal, and that Beelzebub has spoken after the others have made their arguments. If Satan would have made this speech himself, it might appear as though he is appealing to a group of potentially divided soldiers to follow him into battle. But with Beelzebub proposing the plan, Satan can present himself as a hero, answering the universal call of the angels to lead their struggle. The way forward appears as their chosen path, not as one forced upon them by Satan. With that, I'll conclude this webcast, but I'll look at Satan's speech to the assembled demons in Pandemonium in my next webcast on Paradise Lost, Book 2. As always, if you have questions or comments, send me an email.